Carbonites Gaming.
Welcome back, Knights. It is TorchHealer, and this is the continuation to that free-to-play grind. Hopefully a bit of a starter tutorial helpful series. So what we're looking at today is going to be runes. I always say, I've been saying it every video, that runes are the most important things you can get for your monsters. So what we're going to do, I had a request asking if I could talk about some of the runes and kind of go through what you do and what you don't need for some of your runes. So I'm going to craft some runes. We'll discuss each one, why I would keep it, why I wouldn't keep it, and if I would recommend it for a starter account. All of these runes are going to be violent runes because that's what I need for my account. If I have leftovers, I might go for some will, but let's go with violent for now. Um, with this being said, I'll explain, the stats if we find them on, let's say, an energy rune if you're doing Giants B10 or a despair rune. Anything that you can come up with where these stats work, I'll explain if it's good or if it's something I personally would keep for those sets. So let's start off with some violent runes and let's see what we can get here. Well, 6-star legendary. Well, I'm going to keep it anyways. So obviously with the high runes, you're only going to get 5 and 6-star. Just like any B10 you run, you're going to get 5 and 6-star runes. This one, obviously, I'm going to keep. The reasons are on slots 2, 4, and 6, you can get percentage as a main stat. So a defense percent rune is going to be used on almost not any, but it can be used on dang near any support or archangel or defense-based damage dealer. So with this one, speed's great. It's a low roll. It's the lowest roll you can get on a 6-star. 2 flat stats I'm not a big fan of, but it's a max accuracy roll as well. So I can always gem out one of the 2 flat stats. Since it's a defense rune, I'll probably get rid of the flat attack, keep that flat HP, and maybe we'll even roll that one after this, depending on seeing how much time we have. Well, let's keep going. That was a good start. All right, 5-star. So crit rate and HP, you're looking for stats that work together. So crit rate, it can work. It's a very low roll for HP, so I'm going to sell this one off. See what comes up next here. Get rid of here. So the big thing you're looking for is stats that work together. So an HP percent rune, it's good. It doesn't work for my account. I'm a big fan of at least a little bit of speed. You can always roll it, but the lowest roll you can get on speed on a 5-star rune is 3. So anytime you get that 3, you know that it's just going to be a bit more of a struggle to get a little more speed for your monsters. So the same idea here. It's an HP percent rune. It's got crit damage resistance. Crit damage doesn't really help you out a whole ton for an HP percent rune unless you're kind of building a damage dealing tank like a Retesh or something like that. So that's not helpful for my account here. All right, so like I said before, 2, 4, 6 you can get percentage main slot or main stat. Slot 1 is always attack, slot 3 is always defense, and slot 5 is always flat HP. They're always all flat. This one's, it's not bad. I personally have no use for this, but on a starter account, it's a 6-star rune. So that would be a keep on a bit more of an earlier game account. So as soon as you're running those giants, B10, dragons B10, necro B10, you're going to be looking for these 6-star runes, and I rarely keep blue 5-star runes. I have no use for them, and I really don't think that they're overly helpful for even beginner players, um, because it's so easy to get even a hero like a purple or even a legendary. So as a 5-star, 5-star rare runes are not really useful. They're great for mana though. This one, violent accuracy slot 6. I don't need anything like that. And once again, it doesn't really have speed and that flat defense. If there's any chance it can roll into that, it's just going to be a toss away for me. Normally, I'm a big fan of crit damage runes. You can only get them on slot 4. It is a 5-star, and the fact that you can see that the crit rate is just under the crit damage, so that cannot be increased. So a 3% crit rate isn't going to help on a crit damage rune. when you can hopefully get it as a different substat or even grind it in later. You can't change if it's in that area. So this one, 3 speed, yeah. But even looking at this compared to a rare 5-star rune, right? This one you can roll another 15 speed into that, right? So you get 3 chances to get 5 speed, which could make this an 18 speed rune, which isn't good. It's not bad at all. But the other 2 stats you don't really, flat HP, you don't really have any use for. You can get any percentage in there as an HP would be a lot better. And that resistance, I'm not a big fan of resistance. It always rolls into that and screws me over to begin with. Oh, I didn't crack my beer. Sorry, Knights. Let's crack the beer to get this video going. There we go. Just sitting over there like a lonely beer. Poor little guy. All right, let's keep going here. What do we got here? All right, so like I said before, 2, 4, and 6, you can get, on slot 2, you can get speed as a main stat, and you can get percentage stats. So anytime you get a 2, 4, and 6 with a flat stat, unless it's a legendary 6-star, in my opinion, all right, don't, lose your shit on me for no reason here. But in my opinion, a flat stat on a 2, 4, and 6 is not going to be useful unless it is a legendary 6-star with a max speed roll, or at least a speed roll, so that you can go for that elusive 30 speed rune. So same here. It's a slot 4, it's a flat HP. There's nothing useful to that, and it was a 5-star, so I have no use for that, and I don't think anybody in the starter account would either. Now this rune, looking at it, it's, for me, I don't think I'll keep this, but for somebody that's newer into the game, you're looking for some violent sets, try and get, say, a Veramos or a Billidion, or any other monster that you want on a violent set. This has your innate defense percent, so you can't really add to that, but you can get speed and HP percent. Your crit damage, that's fine, but that speed and that HP percent can really help you out on like a Veramos or a Billidion. So that would be a keep for a newer account. And oh geez, two in a row. So this is, I'm going to keep this. Obviously, it's a 6-star legendary rune. Slot 3 is always going to be your flat defense. And it has 3 percentage stats. The only bad thing about it is I can only grind in extra defense. So I can roll this. I'll roll this after if I have some time. But we're mainly trying to avoid that flat HP and see if those other stats go. So we're looking for those cohesive stats, right? Like this. This is a good example of a cohesive stats, right? So you want a tanky monster, you need HP, which you have. You have flat HP, which it's hit and miss. Doesn't really make a difference to me. You can always gem it out once you get into doing those rifts. And like R3, 4, the lowest raid I would do would probably be R4. That's the one I just kind of tinker around with. But you have an HP percent, you have defense percent, and you have accuracy percent. So most of your tankier units could use this rune quite easily, and then if need be, you could throw speed in where that HP is, but that's not a bad rune for an earlier account. It is one that you'll probably end up changing down the line. Now this, slot 1, always going to be flat attack. It's got speed and it's got crit rate. I can always get rid of that flat HP. So this is going to be a keeper. It can roll up to 23 speed or like 24 crit rate, which would be pretty okay. I can always use some crit rate on some of my monsters. This isn't the bad rune for an earlier account. It wouldn't be too bad. It's got some HP, some attack, a bit of crit rate. This would be okay on like a low-level Ciara, or anybody that is kind of a tanky bruiser. So somebody that's going to use a bit of attack as well as their HP, or somebody that you want to have hitting hard but still able to live long enough to do extra damage. This is a great rune for an earlier account. I'm not going to keep it, and I'll explain why. It is a 5-star defense rune. I just pulled another 6-star defense slot 6, but for a newer account, you're looking at defense percent as your main stat, not bad. Crit damage, which is great to have in that innate slot. Um, Flat defense, you can grind on that if you want to. Attack percent, you can grind onto that if you want to. HP percent, you can grind onto that if you want to. And speed, that's a max roll speed for a 5-star rune. So we're going to keep this one. I'll roll it after just to show you kind of what I think, but I'll probably end up selling it. But for a newer account and for beginners kind of getting into this game, that is a good rune to keep for kind of a tanky Archangel, let's say, or somebody that's defense based. Um, this isn't a bad rune. It's low rolls in both. I think the lowest roll you can get in for attack and speed. I wouldn't keep this for any reason. And honestly, it's a blue 5-star, so you can probably get a better rune after probably 4 or 5 more runs. Of like these runes come out of dragons, so if you can get a dragon speed 10 run, you do 5 or 6 of them, you're going to get a better rune. Same with this one. Attack slot 4, it's really only useful for bombers, so your Ciaras, your Cobalt bombers, your what are they called? The Jokers that aren't Lucian. So this is a sell. Get rid of that. Get it out of here. Let's see if we can find something else that's going to be helpful for us here. It's a newer account. It'd be okay. Speed and crit rate, you can always use the two. For me, I have no use for them, and those are both kind of middle rolls for those for 5-star runes. So that's the other thing is you kind of want to know your numbers that you're going to be able to get out of these runes. So on a 5-star rune, your speed, I'll just use speed because it's here. You can get a max of a 5. So this can go up to a 20 speed rune, which isn't bad for a 5-star rune. I've got 6-star runes that are nowhere near 20 speed, and I still use them. The only bad thing about this one is your HP is your innate, so that'll never go up, and honestly, crit damage and flat HP aren't going to be useful for you, so that would be pretty much just for speed. And given it's on a violent rune, you want to have something to back up that speed as well. Same here, so it's a damage dealer rune. You can keep it, but once again, it is a rare 5-star rune. You're not going to have a whole lot of use for it. I would suggest just keep going until you can get at least a purple or even a legendary. All right, so same with that. HP and accuracy, they go together, but your flat HP, there's always that chance it can double roll into that and completely screw you over. So this one on a newer account, it's not bad. You can get your crit rate up to 20-ish, if not higher. Flat HP, once again, it's not going to do anything, and then your accuracy. So this is, you would want like an attack in there, an attack percentage would be good. But for once again a newer account, you want these runes that are going to be able to work together, right? This is just everything's low rolls. It's a 5-star. Newer accounts, I wouldn't even keep that. It's not going to help you out in any way. It's just going to take up a slot that you think you can use it in, and it's just going to kind of throw your monsters off kilter. Slot 6, flat stat. Instantly, we're going to get rid of that. Oh, we're running low here. I might have to go over to some will. All right. So 6-star, there's no speed on it, which a lot of people would instantly kind of turn away and look away at this. But if you have, let's say, a violent Leo, the Wind Dragon Knight, right? You have your crit rate, you have your crit damage, you have your accuracy. So these stats all go together, right? It's a low roll in crit damage. It's kind of a middle roll for crit rate, but it's a max roll for accuracy. So it's not a bad rune. I'm going to keep that one. I'll roll it if we have some time after. You know what? We'll have time. I'll just keep rolling stuff and see what we can get. Once again, blue, 5-star rune. Don't even bother. The only time I would is if it has like speed and one other percent attack or a percent stat that you can use for that monster. So like this. If it was a 5 speed or a 4 speed, 3, once again, it's the lowest you're going to get. Your attack is at 6, which is one below the lowest. But it's a defense with attack, right? So you could use it, but that's like as soon as you're getting 5-star ruins, that would be one you could keep, but immediately get rid of once you get something slightly better. Same for this, right? You can use it. It is a 6-star rune, but they're very low rolls for a 6-star rune. You don't want to be keeping stuff that you're not going to be able to use. Let's see what. No. All right, let's get some Swift. You can always use some speed on your monsters. Once again, it's a 5-star rare rune. You're not going to use it. The thing with Swift runes is you want speed. That's the entire point of using Swift runes, is to go fast. It's for making turn one teams so that you make sure you get that first turn and that your monsters that are following behind can be useful and have enough speed not to get cut in. That last rune was blue 5-star, still not going to use it. Same with this, it's a blue 5-star, it does have speed, but it's the lowest roll, right? It's not gonna help us out any if you can't get any speed on it. You could use this. You're hoping for your next two stats to come in something noteworthy. But for my account, I don't need that. For a newer account, that's it's a 6-star rune. You're going to be able to use that somehow. Two flat stats in your lower end. You don't want to roll either of them, to be honest. So let's get rid of those. All right. So a flat stat in a 2-4-6 slot. We're just going to get rid of it for me. It's got no speed, and they're Swift runes, and speed is kind of king when it comes to Swift runes. So same with this. It's a 5-star. Yeah, you can get some defense out of it, some attack, a bit of accuracy, but once again, those are all low rolls, and then you do have that chance to roll that flat defense. So with that being said, I did get some new runes. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. And once again, I'll kind of keep in mind, I do have a lot of runes on my account that are not useful. So we can explain why I still have them. But in this case, what I'm looking for in this is accuracy, speed, and that's pretty much it. If I can get one of those two and another roll, a max roll into accuracy, so this isn't going to be a bad rune at all. You could use it on a Varad. If I ever had a Varad, this would be an okay rune for him. And I can always enchant an HP percent into that flat attack, and it would be a pretty good rune for him. More accuracy. That's not bad. This would definitely be a Varad rune for me. So let's hope I eventually get one. Poseidon, give me some luck. And then we'll bring this up to 12, hopefully, see where it hangs out then. It might take a few extra times to get this, but once again, if you're looking at these runes, the only reason I use Violent is because that's what I needed for this account. If you're farming your GB10, like your Giants B10, your Dragons B10, in Giants, you're going to be looking for those Despair runes, right? For Despair, you want some speed, some accuracy. I have my Charlotte, which I showed, I think, a video or two ago. I have her on Despair, and I use attack runes on her. It's a speed, crit damage, and attack set. I threw some accuracy on and some focus runes to bring some extra, holy shit, to bring some extra accuracy in for her for the attack bar reduction. So this rune is good. I'm going to keep that. I can always throw some enchants on there. A little more speed would be good. Can we change anything out here? I could throw HP percent. So I would probably put that HP percent right there. And then bump it up a little bit with, do I have? Yeah, I could bring it up. So the max I could get is 17% HP. And I've got a defense rune with speed, HP, flat HP, and accuracy. There's nothing else you want on I would say, a Varad. That's the only monster I can come to think of that I would want to put that on right now. This is that 5-star rune that I was telling you. If you're a newer account, there's no point in getting rid of it. The only time that, even up in starting into a mid-game account, the only reason I would get rid of this is if it went all into flat defense, right? A 5 roll into HP, that's not bad. You can still use this rune fairly easily on a lot of different monsters. It's got all stats that you can tinker around with, and they're cohesive. Defense, attack, height or HP, and speed. Those are the runes that you're looking for pretty much everything. Those are the ones that you can enchant and that you can grind onto and make better and better and better. The only thing that would make this rune better is if it was a 6-star. I'm trying to think of something else you could put in place for that flat defense, but I can't really think of a whole lot. We did get that roll into flat defense. It's not gonna it's not going to hurt it too much. With it being a defense rune, HP, speed, this would be kind of your tanky damage dealer, um, or even like a Vero, right? Or a Tessarian. This could be an okay Tessarian rune for an earlier game account, and something that would kind of bring everything together. It gives you all those base stats that you want. So we're just hoping this hits one more time. 14 speed. So that's not a bad rune, right? One max roll, one middle roll into speed, kind of a middle roll into HP, and then a fairly good roll into flat defense, but it's still into flat defense. So I don't need that rune. I'm going to get rid of it, but for an earlier game account, that is something that is definitely useful. Let's see what we got here. All right, so essentially I'm looking to avoid the flat HP. And to give you guys an idea, since I am free to play, you'll notice I do have a fair amount of mana. And the reason is because when I get a rune, oh, that was shit. Anyways, when I get a rune, I level it up to whatever level the rune is. So the way I'll explain it, because that didn't really make a whole ton of sense. If it is a rare rune, I'll take it up to a +6 and see what I'm dealing with. If it's a hero rune like this one, I'll take it up to a +9. And if it's a legend rune, I'll take it up to a +12, just so that all the stats that are currently on there are shown and I can see kind of what I'm dealing with and whether or not I want to keep it. I do have some 5-star runes that I've taken all the way up to a max, like a +15. Most of my 6-star runes in slots 2, 4, and 6, I have maxed that I use. But I always keep my 1, 3, and 5s at a, oh, that had such good potential. This is still usable. I don't know what for, but I have no use for it. I'm going to sell it. Some people may keep it if it's a newer account. Once again, it is a 6-star rune with speed. So your kind of earlier game accounts, those are going to be useful. But yeah, so I keep my 1, 3, and 5s almost always at +12. I know that they say +15, this, that, and the other thing. Before current, I didn't have this much mana. I've just been farming, trying to get enough resources to be able to make this runes video for you guys. And this is kind of the best way that I could do it, was just keep farming to get the kind of the essences that I needed to do this, or the materials I needed to. So this rune, 11 crit rate, not bad. That 12 accuracy, not bad. So once again, on let's say a violent Leo, it's going to be an okay rune. It's not going to be the best. You would obviously want some HP. Maybe you can't get defense on this rune, but a little bit of HP or attack wouldn't hurt. But if it rolls anything outside of that crit damage, I'll probably keep it, and I could always get rid of that crit damage for, let's say, attack or HP percent. So that's not a bad rune. 2 6 rolls into crit rate and a 4 roll into accuracy, which I'm not overly pleased about, but it's better than what it could have gone into. Let's see, I think we got the one more here. So let's bring this one up to 12, and this will just kind of be the last little bit that I'm explaining while this is going. So when you're looking for runes, you're looking for stats that work together. It's kind of pointless to have some stats that don't work. Mainly, you're looking to get rid of those 2, 4, 6 slots. You don't want any flat main stats in there. If you do get lucky and, let's say, get some legendary 6-star runes, roll them. And unless it's like, once again, a flat 2, 4, 6 without a speed roll in it, those I don't keep. But something like this, I keep every 6-star legendary rune that's a 1, 3, 5 or a percentage of 2, 4, 6 or speed on slot 2. And the reason is because you always have that chance to re-app, to do completely re-roll the rune itself and kind of build up from there. So with this one, it's got a defense percent roll, which is great. It's got an accuracy percent roll, which is great. It's got a flat HP roll, which is shit. But once again, those are cohesive stats. HP, crit damage. I would probably get rid of the crit damage. defense, and accuracy. Those are all stats that work together. And once again, if you're looking for an energy rune, right, you have to look at the bonus of the rune. Energy is going to give you some extra HP. So if you're looking for a little extra HP, you can use rune sets to kind of offset what you're missing on your runes. If you've got 2 energy sets on, that's an extra 30% HP. So with that extra 30% HP, you might not be getting it in your substats in your runes, but you can use, oh, that had such potential. You can use those runes bonuses to build that up a little bit. Let's see if I can find a rune here. Okay, so here's a rune that I kept, and the reason I kept it is because it was a legendary, I do believe. Are you a legendary? Pretty sure it is. Yeah, so it was a legendary 6-star defense percent rune. It had resistance, which works with defense. It had speed, which works with defense. It had crit damage, which I was really hoping it didn't roll into. And then it had flat defense, which I was also hoping it didn't roll into. But these are the types of runes you're looking for. And I will show you my fastest rune. And the reason I kept it, because all the other stats on it are garbage. Now this can show you what one rune can roll, right? So it's a very low crit damage roll, which I didn't need. A crit rate roll, which is middle, and I threw some extra defense on there. I think I got like, oh, yeah. So it's got 11 defense, but this has the chance with a gem to go up to 31 speed, right? And your slot 2s are going to be the max you can get on a slot 2 speed rune. That's a speed main stat is 42. So I'm, 11 below the max you can get. Let's see if there's anything noteworthy in here that I can show you guys quick before we end this video. Nah, nothing. All right. So once again, Knights, if you're looking for runes, I rarely, unless you're very, very early game, 5-star blue runes are not going to be worth it. At least try for a hero rune if you're able to farm any of the B10s. So Giants B10, Dragons B10, or Necro B10. You're looking for at least purple, maybe legendary 5-star runes and your 6-star runes. If you get a speed, like a max speed, which is 6 on a blue rune, that's 6-star, that can be an 18 speed, right? Or that can be like 24 accuracy, right? And that's from a blue rune. So your 6-stars, use those substats and see kind of what you want, right? You're trying to avoid kind of those low flat stats that you can't really utilize. But once again, if you've got 3 substats, one of them's a flat and 2 of them are good, give it a roll. You're not going to know what you're dealing with until you at least roll the rune up to +6 or +9. But at the end of the day, it's your account. Do what you'd like. This is just kind of my tips, my tricks that I use personally, and hopefully that can help some people out. And with that being said, yeah, feel free to toss a like, leave comments. What else do you guys want to see from a free-to-play player? If you're new into the game, let me know what you guys want to know. I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm not saying I'm the best at the game, but I'm not the worst at the game. So let me know if there's anything I can try and help you out with. If you have time, toss a subscription to Carbon Knights. We are also on Twitch, twitch.tv/carbon_knights. Go there. I should be on there probably right after this video and doing some grind. So come ask questions. Just hang out with us. Usually Poseidon's there and a couple other guys as well. So yeah, with that being said, I'll end this video. And as always, keep those shields up. Well, Knights, you made it all the way to the end. You know what that means. You've won the chance to watch another one of our videos, or perhaps even subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.